Your country 1039 KGRD, Mr. Josh Turner, and your man.
Time now for the question of the day.
Yes, it is question of the day time. And our question of the day for today, well, it's once again another simple question right here because, there are often times because of where you live, you're absolutely supposed to, love something that goes on with that area. For instance, if you live in Chicago and you're supposed to love a deep dish pizza, but what happens if you actually don't like that, right? Like you live in Florida, but you don't like the beach, or you're a New Yorker and you're not a big fan of Broadway, or even worse, you live in Wisconsin and you don't like cheese. Oh, I mean, the horror of it all, right? Well, that's basically, most of us are here in New Mexico, but there's a lot of people that have moved in from all over the place. So I ask you our question of the day. What is something that you're supposed to love because of where you live or where you come from, but you actually don't? Right here. I am going to go ahead and go first, and I know I'm going to get roasted for this one, but believe it or not a chili fan. Yeah, I know, born and raised in New Mexico, and I am not a chili fan. In particular, green chili. I will do red on occasion, but just never. There's something about the flavor. I don't know. It's probably, I would say it's in the genes, but everybody else in my family just loves chili overall. But yeah, for me, not a fan. Yeah, so there you go. Like I said, I'm going to get roasted for sure on that one right there. How could you live in New Mexico and not love chili? Because everybody that moves here does, and everybody that lives here does. Well, not me. Not a fan. So what about you? What is something that you're supposed to love because of where you live or where you're from, but you actually just don't like it? That is our question of the day. Go ahead and give me your answers by giving me a call or a text message, 575-523-KGRT. That's 575-523-5478. As always, we are live on our social media pages as well, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Let me know your answers in the comments there. And we do a little extra online as well when we get done right here. But let me know your answers for our question of the day. What is something that you're supposed to love because of where you're from or where you are living right now? I already got a couple answers. Somebody says avocados. And then somebody else said bizcochos is something that they're not a big fan there. Or bizcochao. So, yeah, it happens. It really does. But let me know your answers for our question of the day. What is something that you're supposed to love because of where you live or where you're from, but you actually don't? Let me know your answers for our question of the day. That one's done. Okay. Nope, almost forgot one. Now we're good. That way nobody comes running into the studio going like, you're not playing anything. All right, got to make sure all the buttons are pushed properly. Now, we are exclusively online, and like I said, I know I'm going to get roasted for my answer for this because, yes, born and raised in New Mexico, my entire family loves chili, and I'm not a fan. In particular, green chili, just not a fan. Mom will back me up on that one if she answers any of the questions for this morning. By the way, I did try calling you back, and I'll try a little bit later on today. But just not a fan of chili. And that, of course, it happens. You live in a certain area, you're supposed to like something, but what is it that you don't like? Do you live in Colorado, but you don't like to ski or snowboard? Weird, maybe, but it happens. So what is something that you're supposed to love because of where you live, but you actually don't? Okay? And don't worry, I'm not going to throw any names out, so I'm hopefully won't get anybody in trouble. But autocorrect is a pain. And somebody sent me a text because I was like, oh, okay, that's not what they meant. But yeah, go ahead and let me know what your answers are. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on in and around the world. In fact, they just said it on the news right now. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is talking to New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers about being vice president. And, you know, there was part of me that said, maybe Robert Kennedy can do a little something in there, make a little bit of noise. But, yeah, not really so sure about that one right now. Also saw that the New York Post says that many drivers are reporting increased insurance rates. And this is occurring because the car companies are sharing data about your driving behavior. We talked about this, all those electronics in the car, keeping track of everything. Yeah, they're telling on you and they're talking to your insurance company. Did you notice that? Yep, that's why I like those older cars. Ray-Ban's new smart glasses have a landmark recognition feature that provides wearers with information about what they are looking at. If it would just give me the person's name that I'm looking at, that would make it worth it for me because I can't remember names for anything. And believe it or not, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Reacher star Alan Ritchson are going to star in a new holiday film entitled The Man with the Bag. I love the premise here. The movie is about a former thief who helps Santa and a group of misfit elves save Christmas by being a thief. Yeah, pulling off a heist, as it were. I wonder what they're going to be going after. And Neve Campbell is supposed to star in Scream 7, so she's coming back for those. That'll be pretty interesting. So she will reprise her role as Sidney Prescott. Once again, we are looking for answers for our question of the day today. What is something that you're supposed to love because of where you live or where you're from that you just don't, Once again, a few examples. If you live in Chicago, but you're not a fan of deep dish pizza, if you live in Florida, but you don't like the beach, that would be very, very unfortunate. You're a New Yorker, but just are about Broadway, and the most egregious of them all, if you live in Wisconsin or you're from Wisconsin and just not a fan of the cheese, Yeah. So once again, let me know your answers for our question of the day, which remember is brought to you by the Farmers and Crafts Market of Las Cruces. Fresh produce, bread, meat, honey, food trucks, handmade art, music, and more every Saturday and Wednesday at 8:30 to 1 o'clock in downtown Las Cruces. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, make sure that you do.